Awesome. Thank you so much. Good to see everybody again as we head into our last session here on Revival Apologetics. We've been trying to cover a lot of territory. I hope that some of it has sunk in a little bit. We've talked about manifestations, and we've looked at all kinds of verses, tried to build kind of a foundation and a framework for how we might see things. Just a reminder again that, I call this an apologetics class, but man, the last thing I want you to do is argue with people. That's not the point. The point is really to build your faith that it's founded upon Scripture. That's really important to me. In our previous session, we did the talk on cessationism, which I like to do just to kind of see the other side of the coin, and also to give us some understanding for where folks might be coming from, but also to show you that it's not based on tons of Scripture, which is a huge problem for me. For me to believe in something, I'd like to see some Scripture on it. So for our last session, what I would like to do is come down a notch or two and make this a little bit more practical. I'm trying to think, okay, no matter where you're from, you are going to bump into people who don't think like we think and don't believe the kind of things that we believe. And so how do you interact with them? What are some things that might be helpful and some things that you might want to avoid? I'm going to hopefully share some stuff from my personal experience. Most of that will be, I did it this way, please don't do it that way because that didn't work. Try a different way than what I did. That's going to be a big portion of this. But anyway, I'll tell some of my story. I've got some tips and ideas for along the way. So I hope that will work out for you. Is that all right? Yes. Marvelous. When I'm thinking about interacting with somebody, having a conversation, I would like to have in the back of my mind just what I like to call some non-negotiables, just some things that I want to make sure I stick to no matter what, no matter which way this conversation goes. There's a couple of things I want to make sure that end up. So here they are. Number one, I want to make sure the person I'm talking to knows that I love them. We can see through people, can't we? We know when people have agendas. We know when people just want to talk, and we know when people care about us. And I think people can tell that when we're speaking. And so people need to know that you genuinely care about them, that you genuinely love them. I remember years ago, Benny Johnson used to do the prayer servant training, for when we have church, and after church we line up people and we all come forward for prayer. And she used to do that, and she used to say, the most important thing, whether miracles happen, whether craziness or not, the person needs to know that you love them. That's the most important thing. And so just remember that when we're not here to win an argument. We're not here to prove our point. We're here to make sure this person knows how much we love them. Second thing is, I don't have all the answers. The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know that much. There's a whole lot going on out there. And so I need to get off my high horse and not be arrogant and just realize, I don't know everything. So that makes me want to listen. Third thing, I really want to listen to the voice of God because God knows what this person needs. Sometimes I think I have it all figured out. I think I know where this conversation needs to go. But if I would just tune into the voice of God, then God would be able to tell me, hey, Rich, go this way. Don't go this way. Here's what the person really needs from you today. If I would listen to his voice, I think it would make a huge difference. And lastly, I'm going to choose to just be humble and non-defensive. Just the posture that I want to have in a conversation. I think I've just gotten past the point of I have to be right in every conversation and every discussion. And so it's okay with me if somebody takes a very different viewpoint and they're adamant and they're convinced. I'm just like, all right, brother, no problem. You love Jesus, right? Because I love Jesus. Why don't we just hold on to that? We both love Jesus, and let's just not argue about some of that other stuff. I just think it's important to stay humble, not to get into a defensive posture.